So, the title for the theme for the month is Life on Purpose. Life on Purpose. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go through the Science of Mind textbook and look for a really good quote on purpose. And so I found this from the great mystic and teacher, Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, "The evolution of the individual brings one naturally to a place where true individuality functions." Now he's talking about us. He's talking about us as individual beings on an awakening journey. So from that day, a further evolution must be through one's conscious cooperation with reality. And he puts a capital R on that word reality. So just feel into this, because this is intellectually we can understand what he's saying maybe. But he's speaking to a greater something within us here. So let's listen to this again. It's awakening something within us, the ears to hear how to actually go about living a life on purpose. So further evolution must be through one's conscious cooperation with reality. So paying particular attention to what's happening all around you with life. And your conscious awareness, your conscious attention of it. So this awakening that we're talking about to living a life of purpose, waking up to why you're here, what your purpose for living is, isn't something that comes from outside of us. It's a conscious awareness of a subtle something that's happening, a wisdom that's occurring within each of us. So our conscious cooperation with reality, moment by moment by moment. And many of us get onto this spiritual path and start reading books and taking classes and all of that stuff, which I highly recommend, by the way. But really, it's a deepening into what's already happening. It's right here. And our mind gets us so distracted by the baubles and the sparkles and bright lights of spiritual awakening, the crystals and all of those fun things. But really, it's within each of us. We have the ability to tap in to all the wisdom that God is, and it's right here. It's being consciously aware of reality. So the inner mystic in me wants to say, that's the message, thank you very much. And we would go our own way, and I maybe give you one little challenge, which was don't talk all day. But we're here for something a bit more. So he goes on to say, all nature waits on the individual's recognition of and cooperation with her laws. Now her laws, he's talking of nature, life in general. So recognition and cooperation with the natural laws of the universe. That's what this entire teaching, this metaphysics, is about. This Centers for Spiritual Living, Science of Mind teaching is about the subtle laws of the universe that, know it or not, we're always using. They're always using us. These laws are always at work. And when we slow down, when we open up our inner eye, when we open up our inner ear, we're able to communicate with the universe and understand the subtle laws and why things are the way they are. And how we can wake up to our true purpose, which I believe is to be a conscious co-creator with this thing called life. Am I getting too deep?
No.
That's what happens when you go on a live stream. You get deep. Okay, so all nature waits on the individual's recognition and cooperation with her laws, and is always ready to obey their will. but they must use nature's forces in accordance with her laws and in cooperation with her purpose. So this is why I picked this statement, because I have the word purpose in it. So listen up. So life's purpose, Dr. Untom says, which is goodness, truth, and beauty. Goodness, truth, and beauty. If they wish to attain self-mastery. So, who's here because they have a desire to wake up to reality? I would imagine all of you, and maybe you don't resonate with that the way I phrased it. So who is interested in living a life of greater peace and meaning and love? Okay. So he's suggesting that when we align with the purpose of life itself, which he's saying is goodness, truth, and beauty, that we can accomplish or attain self-mastery. It's so simple, but it doesn't appear to be very easy. So that's why I have been showing up at centers like this for the last almost 30 years now. I never get enough. I never get enough of being around people like us. That's probably why I have been following my purpose since I was in my 20s, which is to inspire and help empower individuals to wake up to their true magnificence and to live the life that they were born to live. Now that's my purpose. And I've been so focused on that, so clean with that intention, that this is it. I've manifested a spiritual center that attracts individuals so that they can realize that intention. Now, lots of people do this. This isn't just me, but lots of people have got super clear on what they want and why they're here, and are able to channel their energy so that they can be in that flow of life force energy that feels so good. It feels so good when you're living on purpose. Some of you are taking Reverend Lyle's class on prayer and meditation, the inner quest. And in this class, he's introducing us to the chakra system. And through the 6 weeks, and I know some of you are going, wait, but there's 7 main chakras. But through the 6 weeks, he's taking you through these awareness centers to help you wake up to this reality. We call it the seventh energy center, the crown chakra, to this oneness energy, this center of bliss. This center of bliss. And some that aren't attuned to this spiritual language may think, bliss? Not very spiritual. Bliss? Bliss is what you experience when you feel oneness, when you feel connected, when you're aligned with your purpose, when you know your why. You feel an expansiveness, an openness. And when you feel that expansiveness, that openness, that's a sign between your higher self and your local self, your ego self, your physical self, that you're in alignment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I want to talk more about that today. Who wants to hear more about that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I shared at the beginning the mission and vision for the Satya Center. And so I want to just underscore the importance of understanding that we here as a spiritual center are on purpose. It's our intention that what we do in the world as a center, the classes we teach, the opportunities that we have, the groups that we lead, align with that mission and vision. So if any point along the path that any of you feel that what we're doing isn't aligned with that mission, then please speak up, because it is our intention that what we do is reflective of that mission and vision. We want to be known as a conscious community that is a fertile soil or ground for spiritual awakening. So please help us with keeping in alignment, keeping in integrity with that vision. This is a community. This isn't just a me or a Lyle or whoever else is up here speaking. We're doing something together here. We're evolving consciousness together here. It may look like there's just a few of us that are the talking heads at the front of the room, but really we are co-creating a spiritual community together. And without you, it wouldn't be what it is. So you are very valuable. We're all very valuable in co-creating this thing called the Satya Center. And if you don't know that, and if you don't participate in that, then we're not in alignment with our purpose, because it takes all of us to create this community. So I hope that invites some of you to step in and feel more empowered to get involved, to join in, to take a class, to come and help us clean the sanctuary. This is a community. This is a pod. This is for you. This is for us. And this is for us to grow together. And if you want to know what our consciousness as a group looks like, this is it. This is it. This is what we've created so far. Do you like it? As my teacher says, do you love it? And sometimes we might say, well, no, we would prefer to have our own place. We would prefer to have monitors up here with words so we can sing along to the songs. It might say, no, I really like a band. I'd like some music. I'd like some better lighting. I'd like a stage, a platform that created more ambience. So do you like it? Yeah. Do you love it?
Yeah.
So the energy is, we've got to love it now, so that we can create the consciousness and the energy so that we will be having the lights and the stage and our own building and all of those things. So let's agree on that. Let's maybe just turn to someone next to you and say, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. So we're in agreement that it's up to us to create the consciousness for that. So what does that look like? That means no criticizing, no complaining, none of that stuff that we might do. We have to create a welcoming environment so that we can have what we want. Now, I'm talking about the Satya Center here, but I'm also talking about your life and my life. We have to make welcome what we want. So we are a point of attraction in the universe. We attract our life to us. So if you want to know what your consciousness is looking like, take a look at your life, your finances, your relationships, the way you spend your time and your money, and the money that you do have to do the things that you love. That is a reflection of your consciousness. Now that's the good news and the really sucky news. Sometimes we look at our lives and it's not so attractive. So the good news is that we can all do something about that, because each of us has within us the capacity. This is the whole crux of the teaching, to change our thinking and change our life. Thoughts of things, that's what we teach here at the Satya Center. So your responsibility and my responsibility and our responsibility is to think thoughts that match up with our vision, that match up with our life, that match up with what we want, what we love. We're not here to live a mediocre life. Now, maybe other traditions have taught that. Just be humble, just live mediocre, and one day you'll go to heaven. Well, that reminds me of a story. Can you imagine? Does anyone have complainers in their life? Anyone have neighbors that are annoying? Can you imagine that moaning and groaning complainer that had a hell of a life, that never really made it, that all of those things, and they're just waiting to get to heaven? Well, that complainer gets to heaven, they knock at the door, and God, she opens the door. And she said, I've been so excited to see you. How was heaven? How was heaven? This is it. This is heaven. The heaven of your creation. Do you love it? Do you love it? I can hear someone whistling. So, I came across this book by a young man, a millennial. For those baby boomers in the room, a millennial wrote this, which is this. I love the thought that you know in the '60s, I'm the child of the '60s. You know, when we came along, as boomers came along, people weren't ready. The adults were not ready for the boomers, because the boomers came in really rebellious and questioning things. Why can't we grow our hair long? Why can't we burn our bras? Why can't we whatever? Why can't I love someone of the same sex? There was a lot of energy that created a lot of change.
A lot of inquiry.
And now we've got the millennials here that are doing the same thing. Why? Why do I have to work hard? Why do I have to have a career? Why can't I just do what I love? Those millennials will be creating our future. Thank God. Thank God it's not up to us. So we're handing the torch. So this is from a young man named Jack Ducey, who's written a book, The Purpose Principle, and his mentor is Jack Canfield. So I like that. He's a boomer and a millennial here. And he says, the most significant and overlooked reason for not getting what we want is not knowing why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. You say it again. The most significant and overlooked reason for not getting what we want is not knowing why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. Now, you may not have known this when you woke up this morning, but you came here to see me today because you wanted me to ask you some questions. Right, Felicia? Yes. Right, sir?
Absolutely.
Liar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Take a breath. Okay, I may be pushing some buttons here. But that's why you came also. I got that memo this morning too. You came here to have your buttons pushed. Okay. So just take a breath and just kind of sink into these questions. And I'd ask you these questions because I want you to spend a good amount of time this week pondering them. Okay, this isn't just something you came to for an hour on Sunday morning and it just spurred some thoughts. This is, I want depth to this inquiry. Because here at the Satya Center, we want to help people wake up to their magnificence. And that happens through inquiry. You don't just go through life, just taking life on life's terms. You can ask why. Why? So, why did you wake up this morning? You don't have to answer out loud. Why did you wake up this morning? Are you sleeping next to that man? Or that woman? Why? Why them? Why that one? Why are you really here? Why are you here? That's how you engage with yourself. Not the mind, but yourself. It's that age-old question that the yogis ask. That annoying question. Who are you? Who are you? If we take life that seriously, if we're that inquisitive, if we're that present with the now moment, with our life, maybe we'll understand our why we're doing what we're doing. So, like Carl said, I wake up every morning because life is a gift. Now, I started the talk talking about the fact that we have this amazing, invisible power, the ability to choose the thoughts we think and to imagine a life that we would love to live. That's amazing news. You guys are sitting there like, yeah, I know that. That's like astonishing. I get to choose the things I think about, and that somehow becomes my life. I get to imagine what I want, and then the universe somehow magically sort of formulates itself to help me move towards those things that I really would love to be experiencing. So every morning, before you've had a chance to moan, bitch, and complain, maybe, what if you gave thanks? What if you just woke up thankful? You woke up thankful. You like Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza wrote the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. The miserable self, the moaning, groaning self, the annoyed self, the sick self, the there's not enough to go around self, that self, breaking the habit of being yourself. He says we have to rethink, we have to reprogram our brain. We have to think new thoughts often and over again so that we create new neural pathways and we create a new self, a more positive self, a more abundant self. We make ourselves a vibrational match to that which we're seeking, whatever it is that we want. So what do you want and why? And then you start to think thoughts that truly encourage that makes you happy, that brings joy, that allows great abundance and prosperous flow into your life. Because you're here to live a big, fabulous, wonderful life, doing the things that turn you on.
Sorry.
That's why we're here. So every morning, before you allow that ego to start niggling its way, criticizing this and that, course correction, stop. I've seen this wonderful video, you guys have to check it out. Bob Newhart, Google this, Bob Newhart, stop it. If you haven't seen that, you need to. If you're feeling like a victim, if you feel like there's not enough, if you feel like your partner's being you know what, go listen to that video. In about 4 minutes, he's going to do a course correction for you, and you're going to stop it. So every morning when you wake up, start to program your mind with thoughts and feelings and beliefs that align with what you want. So I ask you the question, what time is it? Sorry, well, yeah, what's up? I can see God is speaking to me through that device over there. It's 4 o'clock. say to yourself in the quiet of your own mind. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And if you don't like the thoughts you're thinking, let's do what Bob Newhart says. Let's stop it. Okay, let's go into prayer. And here at the Satya Center, we practice a thing called spiritual mind treatment. It's an affirmative prayer. It's an activation of consciousness. And I may be using the words and speaking the words, but if they align with your heart, with your soul, and with your why, then make them yours too. So right here and now, I am close and close to the divine, to this wonderful creative energy that was so full of itself that it burst forth in a multiplicity of form and it became life itself. That life is me, that life is you, that life of the trees and the stars and the things that we know about and the things that we don't know about. It's all God and it really is all good. So knowing that there's only one happening and it's happening right now, we activate this creative process by the use of our consciousness. And I use these words as an activation of consciousness in this creative medium that we call mind, the creative medium of mind. And so I speak my word now for everybody in this room, that we all stop it, whatever it is, the complaining, I'm not good enough. The complaining, I don't have enough money. The complaining, I don't have the right partner. I don't have a purpose. I don't know what my purpose is. We just stop it now. And we let the chatter of that mediocre mind become so way down there in the background of things that we can't even hear it. And we open up to the loud voice of our heart that says, I would love that. I love that. I love her. I love doing that. I love being thankful. Being thankful is the best thing there is because gratitude has a very magnetic energy. So I speak my word for each of us that we cultivate an attitude of gratitude this week and we question why. More often. And in that questioning, we allow ourselves to hear the answer of that still small voice within us, our IGS, our inner guidance system. We listen to our inner guidance system that is always broadcasting truth. And that feels good. Truth feels good. Ego feels closed. Truth feels expansive. You know you're on the path when you're feeling expansive. So I know and accept for each of us that we feel expansive, connected, one with all there is, and that we realize and recognize and know that we are here to serve and bring forth life's purpose of goodness, of beauty, and of love. We bring forth these gifts with gratitude. We become a living, walking prayer. We become a vehicle of good, a conduit for divine flow. We become evolutionaries, conscious evolutionaries. We are the ones, and now is the time. And that's the good message, and that's the prayer. The prayer and the answer are one. I release this prayer knowing that it is so. And let us say together.
And so it is.
Amen. Next week I will teach you about the Aramaic version of the word amen, amin.